Welcome on this glorious and amazing day. Thanks for joining. Before I proceed to talk about the 6 reasons why children misbehave, I must say that we live in the most awesome generation where parents are trying so hard to turn things around. Instead of using the old method, the old belief was children are obnoxious, they're just animals, and we got to learn what method to deal with them, beat them, hurt them, punish them, lock them up, whatever method that we use. But it's interesting to see the old generation, and sadly to some it does still exist today, is that we have no part within their behavior. It's all their issues. And adults are perfect, adults are awesome, and we are there to teach our children right from wrong. And that is going out of style, thank God. And like you'll see when we talk about the 6 things of why kids misbehave, we'll find out that we are totally at fault and actual responsible. And when we will be knowledgeable about these things, we will see a huge turnaround within our children. I learned a lot from a lot of people, and I'm very, very grateful. And I know it works. I have seen it, and it works amazingly. Number 1, the nature of a child, not like an adult, they need to be busy. They need to be occupied. They are very similar to our Creator. They like to create. They go into the world of imagination. They're constantly playing, they're doing, they're thinking. They're very active, and children need to be active, and it's extremely healthy for them to be active. That's the reason why children, when it comes to a meal, they're not like adults, where a meal is not only to eat, but to socialize, to talk, to have some jokes, to sing a song perhaps, or just to discuss the latest politics. You'll notice a child eats and moves on. And if they're not hungry, they're not going to play games, and that's a separate topic. Not to force them or to annoy them that they must eat so-and-so, because you're creating a lot of other problems, but that's a separate talk for itself. If they'll get hungry, they'll eat later on. If they're 10 pounds underweight and they're crawling because they have no energy, then there's an issue about their eating. But I think parents are way too overprotective about how much and what the children should eat. And therefore, because children need to be busy, we have to remember that. When we take out the children to a restaurant, there's an issue with that, because as adults, we will sit on one place anywhere between 45 minutes to 2 hours, some people more. But till you get the food is about 15 minutes, give or take. And then we'll eat, and then we'll talk. And we take 2-year-olds, 10-year-olds to the restaurant with us. And I know there's a children's menu. The thing what we're missing is something more important than just the children's menu, is the children's perspective and nature. They're not meant to sit there. So what happens as we order the food, we will nibble on something, we will have conversation, and we know 10 to 20 minutes the food will be here. The child cannot sit for 10 or 20 minutes to wait for the food. So obviously, as a healthy child, they'll go to their sister's or brother's head and start pulling their hair, because they got to do something. There's no games, there's no Lego, there's no activity, there's no scooter. And what do? Then we start emotionally abusing them. Not only that they're not misbehaving, but we are misbehaving. I'll tell you stuff I heard over the years. I don't understand you. This is the way you appreciate. We took you out to the restaurant. Why are you misbehaving? And we give them a guilt trip, as usual, because we don't know. The child feels horrible about themselves, plus they're frustrated because they want to do something. Now, for those that go to McDonald's, I really like that idea that there's a playground, so let the kids play. And then they could come and eat, and then they could go play. But the average restaurant does not have a playground. And maybe we should not take our children to restaurants. It's very, very nice. Children would love to have a pizza party in the park, and they have pizza and they can run around. That's helpful. Now, if you want to go out for your anniversary, for a birthday party, or even for your child's birthday party, let's make it child-friendly, because rule number one is children need to be busy. Bringing a child to the restaurant, to me, is equivalent of asking an adult to sit in a room for 4 hours, close their eyes, and meditate. Maybe 1% of adults could do that. Most of them can't. And I know within my sessions, I ask people to begin to meditate for 3 to 5 minutes a day, and there's a huge resistance. Adults, forget about children, adults that the prefrontal cortex are developed, they cannot sit and just focus on their breathing or focus on a certain thought. And yet we demand that from children. So not only children are not really misbehaving, and we got to find consequences and make deals with the children of how they should behave in the restaurant, but it's extremely abusive to them. The second example, there's hundreds of examples, I'm only going to give one more. The second example is when we have a trip, a traveling trip for 5, 9, 10 hours. Children need to be active and creative. Now, a lot of parents are very good at this. I really seen parents prepare games, prepare certain videos, just to shove them with videos for 5 to 10 hours. I don't think is a good idea. We're killing their brain. An hour or two is fine on a trip. But that's a beautiful thing that we can learn from all those parents that create activities. And today online you'll find hundreds of activities that we can do as we travel. And with little ones, sadly, I did not know about this when my children were young. But even to stop off every 45 minutes an hour and let the kids just run around for 10 minutes and get their blood circulating. So what we thought kids are misbehaving, they are not misbehaving. They just need to be busy. To me, this whole situation would be equivalent to take a needle and just poke it into your child, and the child start yelling and say, "We can't yell over here. This is a library. Why would you be yelling?" It's simply cruel.